Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're doing the drive of shame today. We are driving to the dealer. Alright, so yeah, we are doing the drive of shame. We are on our way into the dealer, over to the dealer, and the reason is that light right there. The check engine light is on the 17550 that has 102,000 kilometers, so just a little over 60,000 miles on this thing right now, which is you know, pretty much right when the warranty starts to go away. But what do we have for a code? We have a code P245A, and it's actually quite a common code, and when you look it up, it has to do with the EGR cooler. And typically what the code is the EGR cooler, the bypass actuator stops functioning, and there's a few reasons for that, and I will show you how a proper one operates when I get back. I'll pop the hood on my 2020 and I'll fire it up, and I'll show you what is supposed to happen. But there's a vacuum line on there that is the most common problem. Is just the vacuum line. There's vacuum that opens the actuator when you turn the truck on, and when you shut the truck off, it closes. It doesn't close right away, but it closes after a little bit of time, and it's not doing that at all. It's not opening. So obviously my first indication is the engine light, but also I have reduced power at times. So I could be just driving the truck empty, I could be hauling my dump trailer, I could be hauling my gooseneck. It doesn't make a difference, and all of a sudden I'll be hitting hills and I'm like, man, where is the power? And it won't really, it drops gears, but it just doesn't really have the power. So I checked the vacuum hose and it looks fine to me. So instead of me fooling around with, you know, is it the actuator, is it the sensor, you know, what is the problem, I'm just taking to the dealer and letting them deal with it. Now, I typically don't like going to the dealer. I don't really go to the dealer for hardly anything historically, because, well, there's a lot of horror stories, and you know, you get overcharged. Second you get there, you're paying $110 just to get the truck looked at. But I found a really good dealer, Fairley and Stevens in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Nick is the guy, the shop foreman that actually does the work to the truck. But Andrew West, you guys have heard me mention his name before. He's in like the shipping and receiving of parts and whatnot. And if you need any parts, if you're local, if you mention workplaytv, you'll get a discount. So keep that in mind. But I just text Andrew and said, hey man, I have an engine light on my truck. Here's the code, and when can I get it in? And it's in between Christmas and holidays, and he was like, man, like, I don't know if I can get you in today. And I wasn't even thinking that, like, no way, you're not gonna get me in today. I said, dude, it's all good if you can get me in after the new year. Just, you know, obviously is sooner rather than later is preferred. So here we are. It is Monday, the first Monday back after the holidays, and we are on our way to the dealer. So when I get back, I'll show you how a proper one works. I'll show you the vacuum lines and all that sort of stuff, but stay tuned to see what this code is. Well, she's back. She's back and purring like a kitten. The guys at Fairley and Stevens did another bang up job. Bang on, bang up, whatever. Awesome job of getting me my truck back very, very, very quickly. And while I had it over there, I got them to change the oil in it, and I got them to change the rear end fluid as well. And yeah, it's fixed. It's ready to go. So I need to get some fuel in the truck. I need to fill up my slip tank. And then I'm gonna head on over to the homestead and pick up the excavator, the 8-ton, and the trailer, and head on to a job site. So it's getting put right back into full-blown work mode today, right now. So let's jump in the truck. Once I get fueled up and stuff, get some coffee, obviously, I will tell you what it was. Okay, No engine lights. We are on the road. So, what was the issue? So, the first thing I did, obviously, was check the code with my data monster. And I brought up the code. I researched it. I seen what it said. I did some more research on it, and it seemed like it was the vacuum line. But to cancel things out, I actually unhooked my Derringer, so I still have the data monitor hooked up, but as of right now I do not have the Derringer hooked up because, you know, there have been some problems with the Derringers causing engine lights and stuff. That, you know, they keep coming out with new updates and they seem to be helping, but there are some issues with the Derringer, it seems like. Anyway, the most common cause of that code, and I did check my actuator. So what's supposed to happen is when you turn the engine on, the vacuum comes to the actuator and opens the EGR cooler bypass actuator. Well, that was not opening. So when I did this truck, I recorded on my phone, it was not opening, it was staying closed. I went up on my 2020 and I, you know, started it, and bang, it opened up basically right away. Shut it off, and within 2 minutes it closed. It was operating the way it's supposed to. The most common cause is the vacuum line. They have a cheap vacuum line that has like a plastic coating protecting, it's like a wire coating type thing over top of the vacuum line. And that cracks, it can get a fine crack into it, and then you lose vacuum. You don't have vacuum, so it's not gonna open your actuator. Well, when I just did a visual inspection on it, very, very quick visual inspection, I couldn't see any cracks. But you can only see, a small section of the actual line, because it goes down underneath your intake, and it gets down close to your alternator. So you can't see the whole thing. So you'd have to pull out your intake, pull out your alternator, do an inspection on the line before you even know that for sure that's what it is, even though it is definitely the most common cause for this. But that could be the actuator itself. It could be the relay that transmits from the computer to the actuator that makes it happen. So for me, I'm not just sitting at home looking for things to do. I don't have a shop to pull the truck into right now. I'm too busy. I took it to the dealer. That's what I did. And I don't like taking trucks to the dealer, or at least I did not used to. I found an absolutely amazing service from Fairley and Stevens over in Dartmouth. I've said this a million times. It's about anyone can sell you a vehicle. It's after service maintenance, and I'll get into that in a second. But man, these guys have been absolutely awesome to deal with in the service department. And Jim Tapp, the sales guy over there, he's awesome too. But so anyway, I dropped the truck off on I think I dropped it off on a Monday. It was done on Wednesday, but I didn't pick it up until Sunday. But it was done, like 2 days later, basically, with the oil change and with the rear end fluid changed as well. So yes, it was in fact the vacuum line. It was the vacuum line. They pulled off. They tested it. They could find that they were losing pressure. They were losing vacuum. So yes, they had to pull off the air intake. They had to pull off the alternator to get at this line and replace this line. They tested it. Everything's great. Everything is working perfect now. So when I get to the homestead, I will hook up the Derringer. I'll hook Derringer back up. So that's what it is. So if you get that code, chances are that's what it is. If you want to attempt to do it yourself, you know what? Go for it. There is some work involved with taking your air intake out, tube. You don't take your whole box and stuff. You got to take your tube off and take your alternator off, and then you have access to the line. So it was in fact that line, and a lot of people. They replaced it with a different style line, a more sturdy line. I don't know what they put back in. Probably the same line, which is sort of unfortunate, but it's fixed. So getting back to the after sales service thing. So this truck has 102,000 kilometers on it right now. My warranty here in Canada, like bumper to bumper, is 60,000 kilometers, and powertrain, and that includes some emission stuff, is 100,000 kilometers. So technically, this truck does not have warranty left. And you know, I was hoping for the best, and honestly, the best happened. I picked the truck up, and all that I paid for was the oil change and the rear end fluid change. They put the part through warranty. They put the work through warranty for the actuator. They did not have to do that. Two factors definitely went into that. You know, being so close to my mileage, to the warranty, and then I would say having history with issues with this part. I don't think there's an actual TSB on it. I do not think so. But don't take my word on that. But they put it through warranty, and as far as I know, they did not have to do that. So that means a lot. So first off, they would have had to diagnose it. You know, that's $100, $110. Then the hours that they put into this thing, probably 3 to 4 hours at least, plus the part. You know, it's creeping up there at around $600-700 probably easily to do that job. And they didn't charge me a cent for it. And that means a lot. Like when I go to buy another vehicle, that means the world. That means the world. The very first truck that I bought was an F-150, 2014 F-150. I had absolute terrible service. My warranty had just run out, and my wipers wouldn't shut off. My seat belt indicator was on. My headlights wouldn't turn off. I dropped the truck off. I got it back 5-6 hours later with an $850 bill, and my warranty had just run off. And I went to the sales guy and the service department. I said, listen, like, I'm just starting my company. I'm going to be buying more trucks. This was a base model 2014 F-150 XLT with like no options whatsoever. I said, I'm going to be buying more trucks, and I want to create a relationship with the dealer. But if this is the way it's going to be, then I'm never going to be buying another truck from you guys. And they talked about it for 5 minutes, and they came back and said there's nothing they could do. So they lost a lot of business in the last 4 or 5 years. So after sales service is huge. So that's why I really, really, really appreciate, and I absolutely do not mind whatsoever of bragging up Fairley and Stevens, because they have been absolutely amazing in the last year or so. But anyway, I'm gonna get to the homestead. I need to do a quick little job with the 8-ton before I load it on the trailer. Then I gotta get it loaded on. The chains are gonna be frozen. The binders are gonna be frozen. I tell you, there's absolutely nothing like summer when it comes to construction work. Okay, so here we are. So this is the actuator right now. You can see that it is closed. So it is closed right now. You can hear that opening and closing. This is the problem child right here. This line right here is a brand new line. So you can see, yes, you gotta take see how it comes down and goes around. You gotta take the air tube off, and they had to take the alternator off too as well. So that's the line. So if you have any issues, that's what you want to look for. Don't worry about this feller, just worry about this one right here. You can see that little thin coating plastic they have over top of it. So what it should do when I start it up is it should open up. So let's take a look. Yeah, so there you go. You can see it is open now. So before, that was not happening at all. It was just staying closed the entire time. And it takes a second for it to close back in. I'll see how long I'm gonna wait for this. There she goes. Okay. So yes, it is working perfect right now. So I'm actually going to reconnect my Derringer. So I have all my connections over here right now. My map sensor, my FRP sensors or connections over here. So I'm gonna reconnect those, and you know, then we're set and ready to go. I've been driving for like 20 minutes now. Had some highway driving, and now sort of this back road highway driving, pretty much. And truck is working great. Definitely has all the power back that's available there. I've got the Derringer on level 5. It's working perfect. It's working great. That engine light was on for a little while. It was acting up for a little while. I was losing power, and now I got it back, and the truck is definitely doing good. So issue is resolved, and it was what I assumed it was, and it's the most common thing that happens. So yeah, you know what, you can probably fix it yourself, and it's gonna be the vacuum line. You can put a different vacuum line on, a little heavier gauge if you want, but problem solved. Again, a huge thank you to Fairley and Stevens. Andrew West took care of me again. I don't know if Nick did the work, but Nick's like the diesel foreman. Anyway, amazing service. I've got another about 30 minutes until I get to where I'm going. I'm gonna unload the gear, and that's basically gonna be it for today. I'm just gonna unload, get everything ready for tomorrow morning, and then I have a fresh start for tomorrow morning. There is nothing like construction work in the summertime. The winter time is tough doing this type of work. You know, I had stuff that was frozen, hydraulic hoses went on harder than usual, getting onto the mulcher. I ended up having to hook on the truck with my excavator, truck and trailer, and pull it up over the little hill where the trailer was parked because it was just stuck in ice. There's nothing like summertime. So if you're a customer and you have somebody, you know, arrange to do some work for you, and they're late, or they're telling you, you know, I can't do it today, I've had some problems, or whatever, try not to get upset at them, because they're just telling the truth. They're just being honest. It's tough. Doing construction work in the wintertime is tough. It's why a lot of guys just decide to shut her down and forget about it until the next year. Well, okay guys, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this one. Just about home right now. Another 15-20 minutes, I'll be home. Truck's back to just like new, really. Honestly, it really is impressing me how well this truck is holding up, considering what it does on a daily basis. You know, 30,000 pounds, rough roads, side roads, you know, all that, and it's holding up. You know, 102,000 kilometers, so 60,000 miles of extreme use. So far so good in my mind. A little hiccup here and there, nothing major whatsoever. Front end still solid, still on the original brakes. I'm still on the original brakes on this truck, which is unreal. But you know what to do, and as always, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.